Well, I built the bash bar for the car today. I did a couple other things here and there. I got it all fitted up. I didn't really record the building of the bash bar because I had to have my compressor running. My compressor is up in the attic and it's really, really loud. With that on top of the tube bender and stuff, audio would be annoying at the least, so I didn't record any of that. But I figured I would talk to you guys about why I actually really like doing this kind of stuff. So honestly, I work, well, let's start off with this. I work really, really far away from home. I work about 60 miles away from my house. So during the week, I don't get any work done on the car. I rarely even come home during the week. Sometimes I actually stay out at my parents' house. They live out by my work, so I'll go out to work during the week, stay at their house for a couple days or the whole week maybe sometimes, come home on the weekend, get to work on the car. And what I do for a living is this stuff. I'm a mechanic, I'm a metal fabricator. That's what I do. I've actually learned those skills from doing stuff like this in the past and built a career out of that. So it's not like I'm a mechanic that learned how to do this stuff. It's more like I learned how to do this stuff and then became a mechanic and a fabricator. And the reason why is because I really enjoy doing it. The fabrication side especially, you constantly have to be creative with things, where with turning wrench, it can get kind of dull, boring, repetitive. If you do this stuff long enough, you get in the thought process where you're working on something and you don't even pay attention to what you're doing anymore. It's kind of, you're doing it all on muscle memory and you're just in a process and a zone and you kind of zone out and then, you're just putting stuff together. I've actually done a full transmission install in a car before, which, I hate to admit this, but I've done a full transmission install in a car before. And then when I got done, put the car on the ground, I thought to myself, did I torque? Did I torque the clutch? Did I torque the clutch cover down when I put it on? Shit, I really can't remember because I zone out when I'm doing stuff like that sometimes. I just get so in it. So I had to pull I pulled the transmission back out of the car and yeah, I torqued everything down and I did everything right, but I just kind of zoned out while I was doing it because it's so repetitive sometimes. But getting to do stuff like this on, my own car, and most people think like, oh, you do the same thing, you do it all day as a career, and then you want to come home and do it for fun. Doing stuff like this to me is kind of like therapy. It lets me just chill out, zone out, and enjoy what I'm doing. I honestly spend more time in oh shit, I totally forgot that's where I was getting with this. The whole thing about why I work so far away. I'm only home on the weekends to work on this usually, and I honestly spend more time out in my garage working on my car than I do actually in my house. But the whole getting to be creative and do what I want, that's what I love about this car and this whole build, is that I'm building it my way. I can do whatever I want with it. I'm not building it on somebody else's budget. I'm building it on my budget. I can do whatever I want. For example, the whole sway bar thing, which is goofy as shit. I'm right along the side of people that are like, why would you do that? It'd be so easy to just fit a sway bar down there. And yeah, it would be, and I could do that, but I kind of want to push the limits. I've never tried doing a sway bar like that before, and I want to try it. That's how you learn things. You step out of your comfort zone and you try something new. And that's what this car to me is. This is me stepping out of my comfort zone on a few things. Not a ton of things, but the air to water intercooler, that's something I've never done before. Building an entire engine harness to run one of my cars, I've never done that before. I usually just hack up a OEM one and make those work. But I built my own, and I'm trying to do it right and trying to do it the way I want to do it. Something that I've envisioned for a long time and something that I've always been like, I'd really like to do that someday, but just never had a vehicle to do it on. Well, the GTO was supposed to be that vehicle, but unfortunately it got totaled. And it can no longer be that vehicle due to great circumstances and great friends, previous employers that I've worked with, previous partners that I've had on our program. You know, we got the opportunity to build this car here in my garage. Lamborghini. And having that opportunity isn't something I'm just gonna sit on. You know, I wanted to take advantage of this opportunity that I had here to push myself to build something totally different that I've never built before. And, you know, on a level that's, I like to think this is going to be a pro level vehicle when it's done, with the exceptions of a few things that either wouldn't pass tech for FD or would need slight modifications to pass for tech at FD. I've worked for racing teams in the past, and I know what it takes to build a race car. The only difference between this car and the other cars is that the other cars have a full team and crew, each with their own specialties, working on some of these race cars. Whereas this, it's all me. You know, I haven't had really much outside source of help on building the car, and I kind of want to keep it that way. And I want to keep it that way not necessarily because I don't trust anybody else to work on the car. You know, I've had Tuner Tools help me out, and they helped out tremendously on the GTO and the RX-7. And Brian has, I'll change that. Brian from Tuner Tools actually helped wire the engine harness for me when I was super slammed. But Tuner Tools is in Ohio, and I'm in Michigan, so they're close, but not too close. We're about 4 hours away from each other, so it's not exactly like we can call each other up and be like, hey man, can you come give me a hand real quick? So this whole build is pretty much just all me right now. But the whole reason I'm building it, honestly, is because I love working on cars. I love doing fabrication, and like I said, it's like therapy to me. It lets me just relax, work at my own pace, and enjoy doing it while still getting to be creative and do things the way that I want to do them. If there's anybody out there watching this video thinking to themselves, you know, oh man, I would love to build something like that one day, but, you know, I can't afford to, and, you know, I don't really know enough about cars. Start small. When I started working on cars, I didn't know shit. I got into it, you know, wrenching on my own car in my garage, learning things here and there. Nowadays, you have the internet. A lot of people say, oh yeah, you're an internet mechanic, but honestly, there's a lot of really good information on the internet that can help you out and teach you what you need to know. You don't need to go to college to learn how to do this stuff. I didn't, you know, I went to college for a little bit for auto classes, and it was a fucking joke. So I went in there and I already knew everything they were teaching me, so I stopped going. Simple as that. But you can learn the skills you need from working on your own stuff and building your skills up from there. So, you know, buy a cheap welder if you want to get into fabrication. You know, work on your own car, and you can learn the skills. You can develop what you need to know, and you can build a career off of it. And then you get good enough at that, you can get a good job doing that for a living. So you'll be doing what you love to do. You'll have a decent income where you can actually build the stuff that you love to build and you want to work on, and you can make your own dream come true. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. Do it! Just do it! And to be honest, once this is done, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I'm either going to be super happy and stoked that it's finally done, or I'm going to be super sad that I don't have anything to work on anymore. And that's the harsh reality that's starting to sink in as this gets closer and closer to being done. But I do have a couple other projects in mind that I'd like to build. Obviously, primary funding is going to be going into this. But, you know, if we can get the channel going and, you know, have good subscriber counts, get monetized, and actually get an income coming in, whether it be YouTube monetization, merch sales that we might start doing, a Patreon maybe, or something like that. You know, I'd love to start building some really, really cool projects that would be different, a little bit more on the affordable and reasonable side too. But I think it's something cool that we'd be able to do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. So subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and I will catch you guys later.